Hi, I'm Blake Repine, and welcome to Strategy, Leadership, and Impact. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Strategy, Leadership, and Impact. I'm your host, Blake Repine. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who gave me feedback to help improve my podcast from the last one. Of course, this would be the second real episode that I've made, and it has been a learning process, I guess, learning how to edit audio and things like that, but also just getting my mind around talking to myself while sitting in a room by myself. It's not as easy as you might think it is, but just like anything else, we work on it, we improve, and we make things better. So anyway, I appreciate all the feedback and hope you enjoy this episode. In this episode, what I'd like to talk about is working across multiple industries. I have a background working across different industries from defense, accounting, resources industry, environmental companies, hospital and health services, but also tertiary education, research, mining. Like I said, just very different industries just within their dynamics and things like that. And people sometimes ask me, how is it that you're able to work across multiple industries? And the thing is, every industry, every organization, they all have very basic things in common. They are, one, they have people, they have processes, and they each have certain governance principles. So, and whenever you look at industry knowledge or knowledge of an industry can be gained quite quickly. If you understand strategic level principles around organizational dynamics within teams and leadership, the ebbs and flows that businesses will go through, because many industries they contract, they expand. If you understand basic governance principles and risk principles, you can still lead any industry. If you're a consultant or sitting on a board, for example, the business owner or the chief executive of that organization, they need to have probably strong levels around the legislative requirements for that industry. And they can actually advise you on that as long as you can help in these other areas and assist in these other areas, have fly level skills. It's the people that say, well, I've heard this before, and I've actually had some friends of mine that have heard this before as well, is they say, oh, you've done some great things. You increased this organization's revenues by X, or you help this organization gain efficiencies in the area of, whatever it might be, or you help really build strong teams in these areas and stuff. But you know what? You're not right for us because you don't have a lot of industry knowledge or experience in this industry, whatever that industry might be. And whenever you hear that, that is a very status quo type of thinking. And whenever I hear that, it tells me that this person, they see benefits in what you've done. They want to take their business to the areas, or they want to take the business to the levels of what you've accomplished. But at the end of the day, what they're saying is, but I still want to do things the same way we've always done it. So whenever you hear that, I would say run, unless you like doing status quo, which status quo doesn't get you anywhere. And it's interesting. I'll give you some examples. And you can also look at some of these industries too, or just organizations within industries. I would say an industry as a whole. I hear a lot of times people say, well, people in this industry don't like change. Well, no kidding. People in general don't like change. Or they say people in this industry, they're really conflict adverse. They don't have the hard conversations. And yeah, no kidding. People everywhere don't like having those hard conversations. They're conflict adverse. It's just general human nature. People want to be liked. People don't like change. They like routine. So if you're good at having those hard conversations and you're good at bringing about change and actually gaining acceptance for change, then you'd probably be successful in any industry you want to be in or work across. To look at some other examples around organizations in particular that don't necessarily want to change and they kind of had that I guess really status quo type thinking, is you look at a lot of organizations, and we have people that have been industry leaders who have a lot of knowledge in things and a lot of experience in areas and stuff, and they've been around 30, 40 years. And you have boards that are made up of people that are exactly the same like this, and they're deathly afraid of things like social media and promoting their organizations on social media, because they don't see that it can be, the organization could be professional. I've actually been told that before. Oh, it'd be unprofessional for us to promote ourselves on that. And you go, well, yeah, that's fine, but just businesses have to evolve. They have to change. They have to adopt new technologies. They have to reach new clients or new customer base where that customer base is. And oftentimes when you see organizations that are afraid of doing things like that, their client base or their customer base, they're getting to the point where they're retiring, so they're not taking up services or products like they used to. They've entered other areas of their life, so they're no longer, buying these products or services, or they're dying off, so you no longer have a customer or client there anyway. And just like their customers are dying off, so are those businesses. So you have to have some kind of guidance, some kind of leadership to say, hey, look, we're not going to keep doing things the same way we're going to do, or we've always done. We're going to move into these new areas. We're going to adopt this new technology. And then you actually have to be able to communicate that within the organization and actually get help from the organization and get buy-in from the organization to be able to change. Like I said, it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what industries you work across, because all industries are facing disruptive change from technology. Like I said, the mining industry, it used to be very manpower heavy. We're now seeing automation and automated equipment, from excavators and things like that. So they're no longer needing the people, but where are the jobs changing to that they still will need? In the healthcare as well, there's so much AI and machine learning being implemented in different areas. How are we actually changing the staff? But how can we take advantage of these? If you look at tertiary education, for example, no longer are we seeing these huge lecture theaters being filled up with students, but we're seeing more online. That's been happening for years. But there's still universities out there that haven't adopted technology to allow them to take advantage of these students that want to study when they want to study. They don't have the time or the luxury of being able to come and sit in a lecture theater from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. or whenever it might be, because they're working, they have families, they have jobs. Like I said, nearly every industry is being disruptive, and understanding the opportunities in disruption and how businesses and organizations can take advantage of that is very important. I think as we move more into the future, we're going to see more and more people working across these different industries. It comes back to a lot of things, with the gig economy and things. You're going to have people that are very specialized in certain skills, and it's understanding from an organizational leadership perspective, how can I utilize this person's skills to come into my organization to fix X, Y, and Z? How can I bring this person in to gain success in these areas and stuff? And they come in, they do their bit, and then they leave. And then you have to look at, okay, these other areas of the business. How are you going to bring in that leadership expert to actually build your team? Whenever you look at executives and leaders, you hire more for behaviors, not necessarily technical ability. And one of those behaviors is being able to identify areas of success and being able to identify areas of opportunity that otherwise, and a lot of times they've been there for a long time. It's just having that identification, then understanding how can we move into this area to take advantage of it. And I think that that's more important than having necessarily a large amount of industry experience or having 20 or 30 years in a particular industry. I believe that, and there's often overlaps with industries too that people don't necessarily see. Like I said, education, technology, huge area of opportunity right now. But anyway, I encourage people to really look at what they're doing. If you're in an industry you don't like, change industries. You do have skills that'll change over. But if you're looking for that board role, understand what skills you have that you can actually apply across multiple industries. I'll guarantee that you can probably pick out a few. Thank you very much for joining me this week, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Platform you like to follow on, please feel free to subscribe and keep following the podcast. Also, if you have any feedback, please feel free to email me at blakerepine@gmail.com. And if you have any topics that you would like for me to discuss or like my point of view on, again, blakerepine@gmail.com. Also, you can connect with me through LinkedIn. Just search Blake Repine. And if you're a listener on Anchor, on that platform, you can leave me a voice message as well. And I check those weekly. But I appreciate all the support, and thank you very much, and talk to you next week.